Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome to the District Yoga. Today's myofascial release practice is going to be a quick fix for your low back. Most of us tend to walk around with low back pain, typically because we're not recruiting the muscles that need to work in certain scenarios like the hips or the glutes or the outer glutes. So we're going to focus in and around those areas, and then we'll end with a nice little release for that low back. You will need 2 myofascial release balls and 1 block. If you'd like a blanket, you could have a blanket. If you like that on top of the myofascial balls, that is always nice to have nearby. And we're going to start with 2 balls. I'm going to show you very quickly. We're going to start with the hips. So we're going to focus in on, if you could find your frontal hip bone, so find that protrusion, that bone on each side, right and left. And we're going to come in about an inch inside and then an inch down. So those balls are going to be placed roughly here when we lay down on them. So I'm going to have you lay on your belly first, set the balls close by, come onto your belly, and then we're going to place those balls one at a time. So go ahead and place one ball and then place the next one. If you need to go ahead and feel where those frontal hip bones are again, you can. In fact, I'll do that with you. And then the balls should have some space in between them. So there's probably an inch, maybe 2 inches, depending on your anatomy, of space in between them. And if you need to adjust, if you feel like they're on bone or anything like that, definitely make the adjustments. But again, we want to make sure there's a little space between them and they're not on any bones or any nerves. And then you decide if you want to stay with the elbows propped up like this. So almost like a version of Sphinx pose. That's option 1. And then right away you should feel those balls really compressing into the area of the hips. See if you can relax into that. And then once you're ready, if you want a little bit more, you could go ahead and let the elbows splay out, creating a pillow with the hands, or maybe even again using that blanket that you might have nearby for a pillow. Again, I want you to notice especially if you did just change the arms and you melt it in, I want you to just press the body into the balls, so as if you're pressing the balls away. And then exhale, you just release and let those balls melt in a bit more. And so we find this release through this compression, using our breath as a guide. Staying here, breathing into whatever we might feel. Always noticing that we're not really trying to chase sensation, although sensation likely will happen in the areas that we're going to today. We're not aiming at always having sensation so much as staying in the place and just being there and breathing into the ball. It's really like this subtle work that's happening in the tissues. Keep breathing. So as I mentioned, a lot of low back pain, at least that I see with people that talk to me about their low back pain, tends to happen in habitual patterns, whether you're sitting a lot or doing certain things a lot. And then they also tend to happen when, we have certain muscles that aren't firing when we need them to. The hips can definitely be a muscle and joint area that sometimes becomes a little underutilized. Just stay here for 5 more breaths. But the glutes definitely feel that sometimes too, especially the glute med, where the side of our legs really should be working, but instead of firing them or knowing how to fire them, we're actually firing our low back to help us, say, lift something or whatever it might be. Go ahead and take your last breath here. Press those balls, press into those balls. And then just let them melt in one last time. From here, we're going to lift the head up first if you came down, and then come back into that Sphinx pose variation if you're there already. We're going to slowly, and I mean slow, just release one ball at a time. I like to bend one knee and then release the opposite ball. Just come back to laying on the hands, creating that pillow. Take a couple breaths. Just notice. Maybe notice any feeling of warmth in that area. Maybe any circulation rushing back to that area. Go ahead and place the hands under the shoulders. Just gently press your way to a tabletop position. We're going to scoot the legs off to the side and make our way onto our backs. So go ahead and come onto your back. We'll keep the balls nearby or within reach because we will use one of them. As we come into this next one, we're going to come into the glutes here. So I'll show you really quickly. We're going to come into that bullseye area of the glute. So really just that buttock there. We're going to come into that bullseye and just sit on that ball. So again, grab the ball, should be nearby. You're here on your back, knees bent. Feet planted about hips width. Let's go ahead and start on the right glute. So we're going to place that again in the bullseye area of that buttock and glute there. So you could press through the feet, lift the hips up, and then set the hips back down. You might have to adjust and know that it's not an exact region. This practice, again, we've said it a lot of times, is very experiential. So find the place where you feel most appropriate. And you should, again, feel some sensation there. Just stay for 5 breaths. We will get some movement in addition to this in a couple moments. No rush to get there, though. Just let the hips and glutes sink into that ball. Beautiful. From here, if you're not already, plant through the feet. We're going to slowly lean a little bit off to the right, and we're going to wiggle the hips really side to side or left to right. And you're going to feel this definitely in that glute. So the glutes are a fairly large area. So feel free to roll as far left and right as feels right for you. And you might find a place that just feels like a good juicy nugget. You might want to stay and hold on to that a little bit longer, or you can keep the movement side to side as fast or as slow as you want to go, finding the pressure that's appropriate for you. Again, you can adjust the ball if you need to, up or down. Although don't go too far up towards the sacrum or that pelvic bone. Just breathe where you went. Woo. You might start to make some noises. That's absolutely welcomed in this practice. Absolutely okay. Last 3, 2, and 1. Press through the feet. Lift the hips up. Remove that ball. Let the feet come wide as your mat. Let the knees knock in towards each other. And then just notice. Just let the eyes close. Just notice that right side, what types of sensations you feel, the subtle differences from side to side. And then once you're ready, we're going to heel toe the feet back in towards each other. We're just going to switch sides. So we're going to do all of that on the left side this time. Plant through the feet, lift the hips up. I'm going to place my ball towards that bullseye area. Again, nothing too specific. It doesn't have to be exactly in that center line, but close to it. So once you find that center line, just go ahead and set the hips back down. And just stay. No rush to get to the movement yet. Just let the hips and that glute fall into the ball. Again, if you needed to adjust it in any way, you could. As always, if you'd like to stay there, you can. Otherwise, slight lift of the hips as we start to come back and forth, side to side. Just breathing as we move left to right. Oh, this side for me feels a little tighter, a little more areas where it feels a little more intense. Ooh. That might be the case for you. It might have been that on the other side. Just keep rocking, or maybe even staying in any place. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Again, we're really just trying to rehydrate the tissues. You don't have to do it super long to even feel the benefits of this practice. Last 5, wherever you are. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift the hips up, remove that ball. Feet come out wide as your mat. Knees come in towards each other. Just rest, just notice, just be aware. Maybe both sides feeling a little bit more similar. Take one more big breath. Breathe it out. Heel toe the feet back in. We'll remove that ball, and then if you have your block, go ahead and grab your block. I'm going to actually use my blanket because I have a cork block. So set the balls off to the side. We will not need those anymore. And then I'm going to keep this blanket nearby. I'm going to come back onto my back. And I'm going to use the low height. So I'm going to use the lowest height here. I feel like I need a little bit more support today. So I'm on the low height in a bridge pose. And I'm going to go ahead and sneak that blanket up and over on top of that block. Just because, again, I have a cork block. So I need a little extra padding sometimes on this cork block because sometimes it's a bit too intense. If that's not you, that's okay. If you don't have a blanket, you could absolutely see if it works for you with a cork block, no problem. Otherwise, find your way to a supported bridge pose with a block underneath that sacrum. And here's where the juiciness happens, right? The goodness happens for this low back. We've already released the hips. We've already released the tissues of the glutes. Now, option and really just letting the low back find some relaxation into that block underneath you. So really just let the hips fall, be as heavy as possible. And I'm going to give you a couple options. Option 1 is just to stay here where you are. Option 2 is going to be to extend one leg at a time. And again, you might want to be very slow with this, maybe starting with the right foot and just slowly pressing the foot out as far as you would like to go. Not only is this nice with the extended legs for the low back, but also that hip flexor as well. That's option 2, and I'll let you know when to switch if you're just doing the one leg. If you'd like a little bit more, maybe both legs start to extend out. So nice. It's a bit of an opening through the front of the body, but again, you're allowing the low back to just melt in to the support you have underneath you. You could also use a bolster if that felt a little bit better, a little bit more of a restorative version of this pose. Keep breathing. Now, if you want just a tad more, you could go ahead and reach the arms up and overhead. Still breathing wherever you went. This will be our last pose, last shape, last tool, last technique of this myofascial class. So whether your legs are extended and your arms are overhead, or you're in your bent knee version of this, see if you can just let yourself be heavy. If you did take one leg at a time, if you took that option too, go ahead and slowly start to make your way to the other side. Still breathing. Not here much longer. 8 more deep, deep breaths. Unless, of course, you want to stay as long as you like. Take one more breath where you are. Stay there to breathe out. If you have one or both legs extended, one leg comes in at a time. If your knees were bent the whole time, go ahead and press through the feet. We're going to gently, and I mean gently as you can, slowly slide your block and blanket off to the side, lowering the hips back down. Heel toe the feet out as wide as your mat. Let the knees knock in towards each other, a little constructive rest, letting that low back just find a neutral ground. I'm going to go ahead and scoop my hips off to one side and gently make my way up. We will say that that is the official end of that one. If you needed more time to stay in either of those poses or tools or techniques, you could. It's a nice one to come back to, especially just a quick fix for the low back here. Thank you for sharing your energy with me.